What's good, IE Sports Radio fans? It's your boy, the SoCal Saint, back at it again with another new edition of the IE Wrestling Show, your direct feed for all that is professional wrestling on the only network that is your direct feed for all that is sports, IE Sports Radio. Please follow me on right here. You see my handle? There it is. Boom, right there at IE Wrestling Show. That is where you will find me on the X and on TikTok. IE Wrestling Show is my handle on both of those social media platforms. Please also do yourself a favor and go follow IE Sports Radio on all of our social media platforms on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. We are listed on all of those social media platforms. And if you can't find us there, if you're not watching us live streaming right now on X, on Facebook, and on YouTube right now live, you can listen to the download later on all of these multiple premium podcasting platforms. We are live and we are recorded on these platforms, guys. Apple Podcasts, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Amazon, Audible, Castbox, Deezer, Addict, Podchaser, and Geo7. Also, IE Sports Radio has an awesome official website, iesportsradio.com. Go to iesportsradio.com and you can join for free, and you can actually interact with all the hosts of the IE Sports Radio crew. You can check out blog postings. You can check out our IE Sports Radio Hall of Fame. You can check out all of the IE Sports Radio show's official website pages that has all that you'd want to know about the hosts of the shows, with a nice little bio about them, a background in their field of, expertise, if you will, and all of the shows that they have presented in the past and currently. So if you're now becoming a fan of the IE Wrestling Show, thank you. You can go back and listen to some of my past episodes by going to my official page on the iesportsradio.com /the IE Wrestling Show, which is on the official website. Not only that, if you are a fan of IE Sports Radio, you like what we do here at IE Wrestling Show, and you like what we do overall with the network, with IE Sports Radio, you would go to our shop and show us some love, guys. Go to iesportsradio.com /shop, where you can purchase one of these bad boys right here. I had to reach off screen there for a second. You can get one of these bad boys right here. Let me put that championship title down for a moment. Boom, right here, the official IE Sports Radio merch, guys. Official IE Sports Radio merch. This is the official IE Sports Radio logo t-shirt. This is our official logo where it has our official tagline, your direct feed for all that is sports. Boom, right there in the dead center. They come in black, red, I think green. I've seen white, different colors. We have tank tops. We have hats. We're going to have hoodies, hopefully, with the cold weather season coming down, since we are now officially in the month of October. September is now long past us, guys. Crazy that we are now in the month of October. We got a lot to talk about here today, here on IE Sports Radio's premier professional wrestling podcast, the IE Wrestling Show. Let's see who's in the chat room, guys. Whoa, awesome. Yukio is in the chat room. One of the IE Sports Radio's Hall of Famers in the chat room. Good afternoon, Martine. Have a great show. I appreciate that, Yukio. Konnichiwa. Thank you, sir. I hope I said that correctly, man. He's a longtime fan of the show, longtime fan of IE Sports Radio. It's really great to see him watching live. So thank you, sir. I'm so glad to see that you're here in the chat room, man. Awesome. Let's see. We got some other stuff here today to talk about. Of course, we're going to get into that here. I'm not going to be alone. Once again, I am joined by my buddy, my good brother, of course. He is a host of the Crescent City Connection, and he is my good brother in professional wrestling. It is my boy, T5. What is good, brother?
Woo! T's too sweet. What's happening, brother?
That's right, too sweet. So it's good, man. Glad to see you. And please follow T5 on his official Twitter handles, X handles, Crescent City _IE, and his official personal page, who is T Fizzle. I like that. Very dope. Very, very on brand. I love it. I know we're having a great time being wrestling fans right now. I can't really say so much for being a Saints fan right now, but you know, it's a struggle right now. We're 2-2, but we'll bounce back hopefully. Man, we're going to be at odds this weekend because I just seen on our official fantasy league. Me and you are going toe to toe this week, dog. Did you
Oh,
see that?
really?
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to see, bro. Oh,
Yeah.
man, that's wild.
I'm pretty sure last time I checked, the next matchup is me against you, bro. And you're in the
Man,
number one.
that's wild, man. It's wild, bro. But yeah. The Saints are kind of going through it. Like the injury bug started to catch up to it. Man, we had that Falcons game. We like self-inflicted wounds, man. But I'll get more into it on the show. Hey, high noon Saturdays, man. Y'all be there, be square. We'll pop into that. But right now, man, wrestling fans, we eating good. We eating pretty good right now. We not starving, man. Them days, especially that COVID season. Oh boy, the empty arenas. We was going through a drought, man. We was going through a famine. We tried to bring that stuff up.
That was a struggle for sure. That was a struggle. But speaking of eating good, you know what goes well with watching some awesome wrestling? Planet Jerky. Yeah.
Segway.
I like that. Look at that. That nice transition, man. Ain't nobody got it like me. Planet Jerky, premium jerky, man. The jerky that's on a whole other planet. Ooh, yeah. Go to planetjerky.net and order yourself some Planet Jerky right now, guys. It is delicious, premium brisket beef jerky. It's so good. Trust me. I have tried it myself. It is fucking fantastic. My favorite flavor is the volcanic jalapeno. That is my personal favorite. I love that one. I need to order myself some. I say this every week. I really do need to order some because I want to get some more of that. Plus, I want to try that Carolina Reaper, man. I like the spicy. I got to try that one, man. So, and you can also follow them on Instagram. They have an official Instagram page, @Planet Jerky. @Planet Jerky on Instagram. And of course, their official website where you can order their jerky, planetjerky.net. And, if that jerky is just too hot for you, if you take my word for it, but you couldn't handle the heat and you feel like you're on your last leg, and you want to send your well wishes to all your loved ones, would go with that invitation, that letter that you send off to your loved ones because you just couldn't handle the heat. Seal the Deal wax seals. What a way to really show somebody that you love them by using the Seal the Deal wax seals. I know that was pretty bad, right? that was probably the worst way.
Let the butter cook.
Let me cook, dog. Let me cook. Go to IE Sports Radio's official website, iesportsradio.com/Seal the Deal wax seals, where you can order your Seal the Deal wax seals for all your sealing needs, guys. If you have a quinceañera invitation to send out, you got wedding invitations, you got graduations. Like I said, you're on your last leg because you ate too much hot food and you couldn't handle it. That's the kind of letter that you want to send out to people. You want to give them that last little bit of finesse and panache or whatever, the feng shui or however you want to call it. And go to the official Instagram page as well at Seal the Deal _wax seals, guys. Yes, that is an awesome product. You will not be disappointed, just like you won't be disappointed in Planet Jerky as well. Oh, shout out to Yukio out in Japan. He sends his well wishes to you as well, T5. He said, nice to meet you, T5. He's a long-time listener of the show, and he's a Hall of Famer here at IE Sports Radio. So shout out to Yukio. But guys, we'll take a quick little break here. Let's hear from our sponsors. So don't take my word for it when it comes to our awesome sponsors that keep the lights on for us here at IE Sports Radio. So when we come back, we're going to get into some of this awesome wrestling news. We got a little bit of wrestling news to go over just to kind of get out the way before we get into the nitty gritty, which will be our first impressions of NXT on the CW, which debuted last night, as well as our predictions. Me and T5 are going to go back and forth talking about this upcoming premium live event this coming Saturday. Of course, it is Bad Blood in Atlanta, GA. And with Bad Blood comes the return of the classic Hell in a Cell match, which, thank God, Triple H revealed this past Monday night on Raw that it will not be that dreaded, ugly red color. Thank you. I hated that. I hated that. So I'm so glad that we're going back to what we know, what is traditional in wrestling, the premium steel cage, just that nice silver steel. You know what I mean? That stainless steel cage, man. Thank God for that. Because, you can't see the blood if the cage is red. It's not Deadpool. I don't wear red because that just gets me bleed. Like I want to see the blood, but me and T5, we thought long and hard about this. So to cap off the show today, we're going to talk about his top 5, my top 5 best Hell in a Cell matches of all time. And surprisingly, going through this, I was like, damn, there's way more than I remember. But we had to narrow it down to 5. So I don't know if some of our choices will be the same. Who knows? Maybe they'll all be different. You just got to stay tuned to see, guys. We'll be right back in just a moment, guys. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with the IE Wrestling Show.
IE Sports Radio fans, this show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, Single A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Hey there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the IE Sports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at IE Sports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
Yo, we back. We are back. What's good, everyone? Welcome back to the IE Wrestling Show, your direct feed for all that is professional wrestling on the only network that is your direct feed for all that is sports, IE Sports Radio. And thank you to our sponsors, of course, again, Planet Jerky and Seal the Deal Wax Seals, for keeping the lights on. That's how we get to do what we do every single week for all y'all loyal listeners out there. So I really appreciate it. And just real quick before we jump into the wrestling news, I know I've been doing this the last few weeks, and I got a couple more weeks I got to be doing this. I'm sitting here and I'm asking everyone, please, very graciously. I'm not trying to sound like I'm begging, but it may come off that way. But if you got a Facebook account, even if you don't use it a lot, dust it off a little bit. Try to remember that password and hit this link right here. Boom! Help me out. Help your brother out. Your boy, the SoCal Saint, under my government name, Martin Sandoval, is trying to win a contest called the Face of Horror 2024. It is only the third year that they've done this contest, and I'm trying to be the first man, not only that, the first man of color to win this contest. The faceofhorror.org/2024/Martin-Sandoval. You can vote for free. It only takes one little click of a button. It says for a free vote, free vote. Click here, boom, and it gives me a free vote. Right now, since it is the last few hours to vote for this round, which I'm currently sitting at the first place position, guys. I'm sitting in first place right now, top of the card. Top of the card. Only a champ could be at the top of the card, because to beat the man, woo, you gotta beat the man, woo, or whatever, So, you gotta please go to that link, check out the website, check out my little bio that I put together. The grand prize, if I'm able to win this, guys, is I get to go on a ghost hunt with the actor named Kane Hodder. I know for normal people who have a lot of other things on their mind don't know that name offhand. For nerds like myself, I recognize him as an actor who portrayed Jason Voorhees in multiple Friday the 13th films from back in the 80s and early 90s. And he will actually go on a ghost hunt with me. Not only that, he'll be a part of a photo shoot for Rue Morgue magazine, which is a horror magazine out of TO, Canada, Toronto. I'll get to be a part of a photo shoot for that magazine. On top of that, I get a grand prize of $13,000, which is crazy. I've never seen that much amount of money. The only time I've ever seen that multiple amount of money is all the credit card and student loan debt that I've accumulated over the last 20 years. But that said, it'd be a great blessing, especially with the upcoming holiday season, if me and my family could somehow obtain that little bit of grand prize money, because that would definitely help towards us. Our ultimate goal, hopefully, is to get a house. That's what I want to use that for. So, not to get too mushy about it, but that's exactly what I would do with that prize money. I wouldn't be a dummy and go spend it on stupid shit. So, just so you know, because also there's an option on the website that if you want to donate, it's called the Starlight Foundation. It's a foundation that helps children in need, especially children that are ill in the hospital. They're battling all sorts of ailments and diseases and whatnot. So, and they're actually for us Americans, the donations are tax deductible. So if you want to, have something that you can write off on your taxes, it's for a good cause, out of the kindness of your own heart. If you feel like donating, the minimum amount is $10. That every dollar counts as a vote. So $10 means I get 10 votes. So that's just if you have, because right now I know, trust me, times are tough. I know more than I know. I'm sure me and T5 both know that very well. So we're all trying to pinch pennies and make it to the next paycheck, as most people are. So, but if you got $10 to spare, hey, that's on you. If you have a click of a button for a free vote, I'll take that. Okay. So please go to faceofhorror.org /2024/Martin-Sandoval, and please give me a vote, guys. I'd really appreciate it.
Yeah, support the homie, everybody. Support the homie. Support the kids. Wrestling for the kids. Like Wu-Tang for the kids. Wrestling for the kids.
That's
Support
right.
the homie. Support the kids. Man, and hey, when not if, but when you win, I need you to deliver a message to Mr. Harter. He is single-handedly responsible for my childhood trauma.
Shit.
My oldest sister, who's like about a good 10 years older than me, she used to be like, she was a teenager when I was like 5 or 4, and she used to put on Friday the 13th when I was supposed to be watching cartoons. She was watching me while my parents were at work, and she would put on Friday the 13th with her and her friends when I was supposed to be watching Thundercats and Transformers and junk, and I was spooked to this day. Right? I don't ever tasting like that. I hear outside. I learned. Hey, it helped out because when I started playing football in high school, I used to pick my knees up because I didn't want to trip over nothing. I used to run that rope ladder, pick them knees up. I ain't tripping over nothing. You ain't about to catch me. You ain't about to catch me slipping. To this day, that dude is responsible for a lot of my childhood trauma. I need you to let him know T5 is watching, bro. I'm watching him.
I'll be doing the same thing, man. If I win, you know, I know you said win, but hey, you know, anything. If I win and I do get to meet him, the first thing I'm gonna shake his hand and I'm gonna say it's a great pleasure to be here. You're the reason I've never been to camp. No
woods for me. I remember some of my homies just be like, bro, you want to come to the woods? You want to come camping with us? No.
You're the reason I never went camping. You're the reason I've never been to summer camp. Thanks for that.
the only brother in the camp in the woods too? Nope.
No. They're gonna be like looking at, hey Martine, you go check out that weird noise. What the fuck? Why don't you go check out that weird noise?
Like hell I am. Where you at? I'm going toward the vehicles. The noise is that away. Yeah, the vehicles are that away.
Exactly. Yeah. And we got a boy. The host of the Yinzer Report is in the house. What's good, Ralph? Hell yeah, man. We gotta give it to him. We gotta give it to him. Yeet. Yeah, that's for you, Ralph. Yeet. We get a yeet from T5 and myself. Oh, he's saying, are me and T5 a duo? Oh, shit, man, pretty much. I mean, hell, it's been awesome having him on here every week, man. We need to just make it official. I need to make a new banner. Get your name on here, dog. Slap it on there. Boom. Make it official.
We need to work on the fusion dance, bro. Fusion.
Hell yeah, bro. Damn. See, and you got deep door, bro. What are you talking about? I mean, this is why me and this dude get along, man. This dude likes DBZ. We talk about wrestling because it's a passion of ours. We both like the New Orleans Saints, and now on top of that, he's a fan of Natty Neidhart, bro.
Woo! That's my soul right there.
Oof, that's my soul. Oh my God, Natty.
Thicker than a snicker.
Natty with the fatty, bro. Oh man. And a shout out to the host of Set Point and the SoCal Supreme Sports Show. Taryn Rodriguez is in the chat room. Good afternoon, Martine and Travis. Hope you're having a great show. I love how everybody's shouting us out by the nicknames, but Taryn keeping it real professional, calling us by our government names.
Hey, what's with that government stuff, bro? You the ops? What's going on, man? You the feds? I'm watching you, bro. Right? I'm watching you.
Keeping it real professional. Keeping it super professional. He's like, I don't do that silliness. T5, SoCal Saint. What is this silliness? Martine and Travis. That's your names. Okay.
Hello, Martine and Travis. I'm like,
right.
Okay. All right.
It's all love, Taryn. We just playing. Shit, let's get into it, brother. So we got some wrestling news. I wanted to start with this because I know you're a big New Japan fan, so I thought you would like to talk about this real quick. You know, if we got a few minutes, let me pull it up here in my notes here. So, here we go. I believe I found it. All right. So this was on the official New Japan Pro Wrestling's Facebook page, and it brought me to a card. They got an upcoming event actually in a couple weeks. On October 14th, it's going to be the King of Pro Wrestling. show, which I forgot they do that around this time of year. The King of Pro Wrestling show is going to be live from oh god, I'm about to butcher this. I'm sorry, Yu-Gi-Oh, if you're still in the chat room, bro. Rio Goku.
You got it. You nailed it. You nailed it. That's it.
Did I say that right?
You nailed it. Rio Goku.
Okay, and Kokukian. Oh, I know I didn't say that shit right.
I know about that one.
Oh man! So this is going to be at the Rio Goku Sumo Hall on October 14th. It is the annual autumn trip of New Japan to hit the Rio Goku Sumo Hall, and it is a pretty stat. I will have to admit, they even put it in the titles. It's a stat card, and looking at the card now, it sounds pretty stacked from top to bottom here. So let me run down the card with you, bro, and see what you think. This one, I'm very interested to see this one. CMLL invades New Japan with Hiromu Takahashi going one-on-one with Mystico. That's going to be one of the big matches tonight. Definitely a junior heavyweight battle between those two. We got the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships on the line. Bullet Club War Dogs, Clark Connors and Drilla Maloney take on the Intergalactic Jet Setters, Kevin Knight and Kushida. I didn't even know Kushida was in a new tag team, so that's cool. Another tag team title match. It's the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team titles on the line. TMDK, Shane Haste and Mikey Nichols take on Bullet Club, Rogue Army, Bad Luck Fale, and Caveman Ugg. Can't say I know who that is. I know who Bad Luck Fale is, but I don't. Can't say and Ugg is.
I don't know who that is. Yeah.
Don't take this the wrong way, any fans of New Japan or Bullet Club, but definitely Bullet Club is definitely a shell of its former self, from what I remember it being.
Bro, it took me a while to get into War Dogs, man. But hey, I'm a fan of everybody except for Finley.
Right.
The rest of them dudes can go. The rest of them dudes is fire, bro. They cut some fire promo. They had this one video of them just chilling in Japan, just walking the streets, drinking and chilling, and they were so cool, dude.
That's cool.
Just so cold-blooded. I liked it.
All right, I'll have to look that up, man. I gotta re-educate myself. I've been a little out of the loop in terms of NJPW. I mean, because lately anything Japanese wrestling wise, it was more of the women because I was trying to like educate myself on Julia before she showed up. So let's see. Next match on the card is the Never Openweight Championship. Shingo Tagaji defends the title against Ro. Oh my god, I'm saying this so wrong. Rio High Owai? Is that how you say that? O-I-W-A? Wow, this is so bad. Fifth match on the card. NJPW World Television Championship three-way dance. Yota Tsuja, Ren Narita versus Jeff Cobb.
Oh, that's fly. That's fly right there.
That'll be a good match. Jeff Cobb is the current NJPW television champion. I will say this. I don't know if you'll agree with me or not. I know before we went on the air, me and homeboy T5 were talking about some of our favorite championship title designs. The New Japan World Television title is definitely not one of my favorites. I am not a fan of that title belt. It looks so bad. It's so big in the middle and so skinny on the ends. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's see. Next match on the card. Hiroshi Tanahashi's 25th anniversary. Of course, for those who are out of the know, I've talked about this on the show. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, everyone. I may cough from time to time. I'm getting over COVID. So my apologies, everyone. I'm on the better end of it. Trust me. I'm not still like dying over here. But anyway, the beginning of the year, I talked about, especially with the changes that came to WWE with the changing of the guard, with Triple H being the head of creative, and you know, he who should not be named, Voldemort is out, yada yada. You know who I'm talking about. around the same time in Japan, Hiroshi Tanahashi basically became the Triple H of NJPW. He's the head of creative, if I'm not mistaken. Isn't that right?
Yeah,
T5?
he's the president. He's the
Yeah,
president.
He's the president. That's right. He's the president of the company. So they're going to be celebrating his 25th anniversary in professional wrestling on this card. Hiroshi Tanahashi will team with Shota Umano. Am I saying that right? Umano?
Shoto Umano.
Umano. Okay. Shoto Umano. Right?
Yeah, sometimes they call him Shooter. Moxley likes to call him Shooter.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and El Fantasmo. So it's a 6-man against the House of Torture, which will be Evil, Yujiro Takahashi, and Kenomura.
Yeah. That sounds fun. Not a lot of people like House of Torture. Not a lot of people, a lot of fans. They have a lot of shenanigans and stuff with them, man. Them House of Torture matches, but yeah, El Fantasmo and Shooter. I'm Rockstar Tanahashi. I'm here for it. I'm here for that.
I love Tanahashi, man. Tanahashi is one of those guys that I feel. I've heard some fans talk about, like, man, how come he never tried to make the transition to American wrestling? And I'm like, you know, sometimes guys don't necessarily need it. You know what I mean? They're a star without the transition. You know what I mean? And Tanahashi's been a star for 25 years. They're about to celebrate 25 years.
He's the ace of New Japan, man. Like he was on top for like a long time, and they didn't really like WWE at the time. Really didn't start bringing in, international talent to like maybe Shinsuke. That was like maybe like the first ones that I can remember in recent history, like the 2000s.
I mean, that they seriously started like pushing in an actual serious manner.
Especially NXT. Then when they came up to the main roster, by that time, Tanahashi was already a little bit older than Nakamura, if I'm not mistaken. So he was already like specifically supplanted as the ace of New Japan at that time, because I think he was way in the main event picture. Nakamura he was on the way up. Nakamura was on the way up. His popularity was on the rise.
I would compare Tanahashi to Sting. Like Sting's run in WCW. I would compare Tanahashi to Japan's version of Sting. He's the franchise.
That's a very good comparison.
Yeah, he's the franchise, you know?
And that's why he's the president. He's the president. Exactly. He's not only a client, he's the player president.
That's right. Next match on the card, the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship match will be against Doki? Am I saying that right? Doki versus Show. And wow, damn, this is like a long card. I thought it was only like 7 matches. This is like they got 2 more matches after this. The IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship, your favorite, David Finlay, will defend the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship against Hiroki Goto.
Oh, Goto. I'm a Goto fan, man.
I like it too. And the main event for this match for this card, definitely going to be a hard-hitting technical match, if I do say so myself. IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, Tetsuya Naito, our homeboy, one of our favorites in Japan, defends the title against Zack Sabre Jr.
Oh, my life, bro! It's gonna hurt. I've been a Zack Sabre fan for a long time, but I've been a Naito fan for dang ever, dude. This is gonna hurt. I kind of want to see Zack Sabre because he's like the next man up. He's definitely next man up. He's been on the rise for a while. He should have been on the rise a lot faster, but at the time he still had kind of Will Ospreay on the same trajectory. so it kind of slowed his pace down. But Zack Saber's been consistent. He's been that dude. Man, Naito, man, you the homie, bro. Naito! That's my guy. But, man, I don't know about this one, man. This one's going to hurt. I'm going to have to watch with my popcorn and tears running down with tears in my eyes.
So this is definitely out of the ordinary for New Japan because Zack Sabre Jr. is the G1 Climax 34 tournament winner, and he was scheduled to have this very title match at.
Yeah, but he called his shot. Yeah, he called his shot.
Yeah, but he called it now. He said he didn't want to wait till January. He wants it now. So, breaking tradition, Zack Sabre Jr. is getting his title shot months early. So, the landscape for Wrestle Kingdom has already changed dramatically.
Man.
Again, guys, that's going to be October 14th. Weeks. So, look forward to that. I think you can still New Japan World is still available here in the States, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it was hard. I'm gonna try again. I'm gonna try with a different email account this time. Last time I tried to get New Japan World, it was acting funny, man. I'm gonna try again because I want to follow it myself instead of having had to use, let's say, hey, the ops still here, FBI. The FBI still in the chat. Less nefarious means, wink, wink, to follow New Japan.
Yeah, I know. I tried to sign up a while back. I had trouble doing it.
Me too.
Hey, shout out to Danny Mahan. He is in the chat room. Yeet.
Yeet.
Got to yeet, Danny. Ooh, got to take a sip of that water.
Word, gotta stay hydrated.
Yeah, trying. So, man, that's a pretty stacked card for New Japan. I'm actually excited for that.
It is.
To take a quote from one of my favorite wrestlers. I know some people probably thought he was boring, but Lance Storm. If I could be serious for a moment. We got a couple of serious stories to cover. So just want to, if the wrestling community out there in the interwebs and on the streets can help out in any way, please do so. First serious story up. Excuse me. Jacob Fatu's brother, bloodline enforcer Jacob Fatu, his brother Journey Fatu, has been reported missing by authorities. Journey was last seen the weekend of September 13th in San Francisco after a West Coast Pro Wrestling booking. And that's all the information that's been released online. That's crazy that this came out 2 days ago, but he hasn't been seen since September 13th. It is now October 2nd.
Dang.
So I don't know. It doesn't really give any information, like if anybody has any leads, anything to say. I mean, I guess you can contact authorities in San Francisco, missing persons division out there. I don't know if Jacob Fatu or any of the Fatu family will take any sort of tips or anything on their social medias, but I mean, I'm sure anything helps. But praying for a safe return. I don't want to speak for T5, but I'm sure. I mean, me and you both, praying for a safe return for Jacob's brother, Journey. So I mean, that's scary, man. Being missing is no joke. So.
Yeah, man. We kind of went through some similar before. You haven't heard from a family member in a while, and you're not contacting nobody. You start to get worried and stuff, man. So, thoughts and prayers go out to the Fatu family, and hopefully a safe return to their brother. And hey, y'all folks out there, if y'all know anything, don't be no nerd or no weirdo about it and everything. If you legitimately know something, reach out to the authorities.
Exactly.
Let them do their job and everything, man. So
yeah, don't be some weirdo. Don't be a creeper. If you legitimately have anything that can help the family find him, do yourself a favor and say something. And more thoughts and prayers to go on from the WWE side of things to the AEW side of things. This broke a day ago. Luchasaurus of All Elite Wrestling has reportedly been hospitalized since last Friday after his fiancée found him unresponsive. Paramedics determined his blood oxygen level was dangerously low, below 80%, and that he was battling severe pneumonia in both his lungs. Doctors said he was days away from permanent irreversible lung damage and is currently in the hospital on oxygen. He is expected to stay in the hospital for a month, and his in-ring return is unclear at the moment. So that's really, really sad to hear, especially with hearing that it's a lung issue. It kind of harpens back to God forbid, but it definitely makes me think about John Huber, a.k.a. Brody Lee, a.k.a. Luke Harper, and his whole thing. Like, it was just like he was here one day and then he was gone the next, and that tis his life, that it could be like that sometimes. But, God willing, we don't have another tragedy in wrestling. So prayers for a speedy recovery for the big man, Luchasaurus.
Yeah, luckily his fiance found him and everything. And from what I hear, I think he's on the uptick a little, so that's positive. But definitely thoughts and prayers out to Luchasaurus on a speedy recovery, man. And pneumonia is no joke, man.
Yeah, it definitely isn't, man. I had it as a kid. I know I was telling you, I kind of mentioned it a little bit when I was before we went live, but I remember I got misdiagnosed. This is a funny story. I got misdiagnosed, just to go off on a little tangent here. I got misdiagnosed with appendicitis. They were literally about to cut my ass open.
Dang.
I was told to drink this nasty ass liquid that it looked like an orange smoothie, but it definitely did not taste like it. And it was supposed to make my bones and body like glow, because they were going to put me through one of those like machines that takes a full body scan of you. Mm-hmm. And so I don't know. I probably just drank a bunch of radiation. Who knows? Anyway, I'm still here. So anyway,
that's wrong.
I had to hold my breath the whole scan, but I couldn't because I couldn't stop coughing. And then the scan tech was getting frustrated with me, and he's like, "You need to stop coughing." I was like, "Well, I can't, dude. I've been coughing for like a week." And then they pulled me out, brought me back to the room, and the doctor goes, "Man, why didn't you tell me you've been coughing?" I was like, "You didn't ask." And he goes, "Well, good thing you said something, because I was about to cut you open for nothing. You don't have appendicitis. You have pneumonia. Let's hook you up to an IV and send you home," which is basically what they did. Yeah. So at 14, I could have got my appendix out for no reason.
Boy.
Them California doctors, man.
You ain't lying. That's wild.
Yeah, okay, so let me clarify. Not to insult any California doctors that listen to the show, if they are. I'm sure they have better things to be doing, like saving lives. But I had gotten misdiagnosed by an urgent care doctor and sent to the ER. And it was at the ER where they caught the mistake. So just to clarify, it's not all doctors. Maybe just urgent care doctors.
That's that one. They're going to have that one California doctor listening to the show like, I heard that. You watch it, brother. Mm-hmm. I was with you guys till you said that, brother.
Hashtag cancel IE wrestling show.
I'm gonna fix you guys. Hey fellas, they're out here dragging us, brother. Let's cancel these guys.
Let's do what the wrestling community can't do and unionize.
Womp.
Oh man! So did anybody catch The Simpsons this past Sunday night? No?
Does anybody watch The Simpsons? Not wrestling. I was watching football.
Okay, fair enough. I caught it on the back end after football. But for those who know that The Simpsons have had multiple seasons. They're in the 34th or 35th season now, or something crazy. They've had many different celebrities come across their screens. Kevin Smith, Mel Gibson, Michael Jackson, not in his actual form, but as a big fat guy in a mental hospital. For those who don't
You
remember,
thought he was Michael Jackson.
thought he was Michael Jackson.
It's your birthday.
Oh, yeah, I love that episode. Anyway, and even one former WWE champion and Bret the Hitman Hart. Well, now they can say 2, because if you missed it, you can go online and look at the clip for yourself. Go on YouTube and find it. John Cena made an appearance on The Simpsons, acting as a go-to OBGYNs of sorts, or a what do they call it when they do the home births? There's a name for that, right?
Midwife.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, he was acting as a midwife for Comic Book Guy and his wife Kamiko, and helped them give birth to their daughter. So yeah, John Cena acted as a midwife at for Comic Book Guy in the comic book store, and helped give birth to Comic Book Guy's first and only child. And then he played with the child. You can't see me. You can't see me. So
Man,
John Cena had an epic cameo on The Simpsons this past Sunday.
Wow, now you can tell how it's been a while since I watched The Simpsons. Comic Book Guy has a wife?
Apparently so, because that was definitely news to me as well.
Wow, you can tell I ain't watching a while. Comic Book Guy,
right?
Man, dude, yeah, he ain't ever think that man was getting a wife. Yeah.
I know. I already know what Comic Book Guy would say to that, though. Best cameo ever. Oh man. And some more Hollywood wrestling news now on the AEW. It seems like I'm going back and forth between WWE and AEW. For those who don't know, Adam Sandler, yes, he is a big wrestling fan and a huge, A-list actor. Adam Sandler is working on a sequel to one of my favorite films of his, Happy Gilmore. It's going to be coming out on Netflix. And he recently, according to Deadline, has cast former AEW World Champion and one of Ralph Kalisa's, the host of the Injury Report's favorite wrestlers of AEW, MJF. Maxwell Jacob Friedman has been cast in Happy Gilmore 2. So not only are we going to have Shooter McGavin, but we're going to have MJF in the same movie together. That's a little wild to see that. So I wonder who he'll be playing.
Man, like there was a rumor going out that he might be his son or something. I don't know how true that is. I guess that he might be like one of like the heel golfers or whatever. There's always smack talk. You know how they act in the clubhouse. The little uppity dudes act in the clubhouse. That's what I was thinking MJF would be, because that wouldn't be much of a stretch for him. But I heard like there was a rumor going around that he might be like Happy Gilmore's son. I don't know about that. Yeah.
I could see him being Shooter's son more than
I can see him be more. Yeah, I can see. Come on, Dad. I can see that. That would be great.
So yeah, so shout out to that. So that's still filming. So I don't know when it's supposed to release, but I'll keep y'all posted whenever Happy Gilmore premieres on Netflix.
Word.
Some unfortunate injury news. This is really they announced this on Monday Night Raw after receiving a standing ovation, because apparently they did after this match was over, because I heard it was fucking awesome. Ilya Dragunov, one of the newest members of the Raw roster since the beginning of the year, suffered a torn ACL in his World Championship match over the weekend against Gunter, and unfortunately, he will be out of action for 6 to 9 months. So he's going to definitely be missing WrestleMania season, which is really unfortunate. That sucks, because I'm sure Ilya Dragunov could have played a part in some way, shape, or form or fashion during WrestleMania season. He's very over with the crowd already due to him having just banger after banger after banger. Him and Gunter cooked on Sunday. Like I said, they received a standing ovation after their match on Sunday. I forgot where the live event was. But yeah, that's unfortunate that Ilya is now on the shelf. And T5, not only that, apparently after the awesome main event on Monday Night Raw, which was the last monster standing main event between Braun Strowman and Bronson Reed, which featured the return of Seth freaking Rollins, excuse me, which was dope. Unfortunately, apparently Braun Strowman injured himself during that match. Again, he just came back from a severe neck injury. He was out for over a year. But apparently halfway through the match, whenever he took a Samoan drop, I don't know where I can't remember if the Samoan drop was in the ring or outside of the ring, but apparently whenever he took that Samoan drop spot from Bronson Reed, he apparently tore his groin. So we don't know for certain how long of an absence it will be, but apparently he is on the shelf again. So Braun Strowman, even after suffering a victory, not suffering a victory, obtaining a victory, he also suffered an injury during the course of that victory. So, damn, two prominent Raw superstars now on the shelf. So, speedy recovery to Braun Strowman and Ilya Dragunov, guys. That really sucks to hear that.
Yeah, man. I hope a speedy recovery to both of them, because, man, a lot of people wanted to see Ilya Dragunov, get that run and probably go against Gunther and maybe Mania or something, or somewhere down the line, because, man, those two cook. In NXT, those two cook. Over there you remember NXT Europe, man, they were cooking. Those two cooked. Every time they got together, those two was cooking. And that would have been fire to rekindle that rivalry on the grandest stage of them all, man. But
hell yeah,
hope for a speedy recovery for Ilya Dragunov, man. The mad Russian, that dude be cooking, man. Like the intensity, dude. The intensity on this dude's face, you just believe it, bro.
Oh, so, for sure. Next a little bit. If you guys are excited, which I know you are, because we're going to get to it here shortly after we take a little break here in just a moment. We're going to talk about Bad Blood and we're going to talk about NXT. But before we get to Bad Blood, we got a final stop on the road to Bad Blood, which is SmackDown this coming Friday in Nashville, Tennessee. And it was announced 4 days ago via X that Nick Aldis, the general manager of SmackDown, has announced a huge match for that Friday SmackDown. It'll be the Bloodline, Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa, defending the WWE Tag Team Championship in a triple threat ladder match against DIY, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, and Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford, the Street Profits. Wow. That is huge for SmackDown. A triangle ladder match for the WWE Tag Team titles, the Bloodline, DIY, and Street Profits. Now, you're talking about cooking. These guys are going to put on a 5-course meal, okay?
Oh, they cooking and handing plates out right there, boy. That's a flat iron cooking right there, man.
Shit. What are you talking about, man? That's a crab boil right there.
Nah, they grilling. They in Nashville, they grilling. You already know. They barbecuing, baby. Pass them plates out. Who bringing the potato salad? Better not have no cranberries in there. Hey, they about to get busy.
Man, who you got? Who you got in this, man? Triangle ladder match. Tag titles on the line. You think we might see Roman show up?
I think Bloodline retains, man.
I think Bloodline retains without any funny business, which means without any interference from either KO, Orton, Cody, or Roman.
Right.
That's what I think. But I mean, there's a good chance that we might not see that happen. I mean, if by some chance that they do not retain, I got the Street Profits. I think it's long overdue for them to get some gold around their waist. It's been way too long.
Man, it's been way too long, man.
And they've been doing the damn thing. They've been having solid match after solid match after solid match.
They've been starving, man. They stomach touching their backs, man. We need to get these dudes going, bro.
Mm-hmm. for sure. So yeah, I mean that's really it for the wrestling news, guys. I know tickets go on sale for WrestleMania here in just a couple weeks, too. If you guys are planning on making the trip to Vegas next year, I think that's a little too rich for my blood. Because I've already heard some of the prices for some of the tickets, and they're absolutely insane. If they're to be,
Bling, bling.
I heard that front row for both nights is 50 G's, 50 grand. I don't even know if is that Super Bowl prices right there? Shit, I don't even know.
That's a little man. That is Super Bowl price. You better have me on TV all the time. You better stick a mic when we go to commercial. Stick a mic in front of my face. Let me give a shout out to everybody. Like pew pew. Let me get some of that merch. Let me get some Yeet glasses, some T-shirts or something, bro, for 50 G's.
If I was going to go to WrestleMania, I have to be saving up the entire year before the next year's WrestleMania. You know what I mean? Like I got to start from
once you find out where it's going to be at, bam, from that day until the last day, you got to save like that, bro. Man.
Yeah. That's insane. But hopefully one of these years, man, it's on the bucket list. One of these years I will be able to cross off I've been to a WrestleMania, hopefully. Ooh, man. All right, well, shit. T5, you hang in there, as well as our loyal listeners. We'll be right back. We're going to take a short little break. When we come back, we're going to fly through NXT on CW, talk about what we thought of our first impressions of the first show on the new network. And then we're going to get into some predictions for this weekend's premium live event, Bad Blood. So everybody stay tuned to the IE Wrestling Show. We'll be right back in just a moment, guys. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
What's up, everybody? This is Taryn Rodriguez. Are you a fan of volleyball? Are you a fan of Thunderous Spikes? Then I have the show for you, Set Point, where I cover NCAA men's and women's volleyball, high school boys and girls volleyball, beach volleyball, and even professional volleyball. Catch the action every week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's up, Pittsburgh? This is Ralph Calise, the host of the Injury Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Are you that passionate diehard Steelers, Penguins, Pirates, or just a Pittsburgh sports fan? Then please join me on the Injury Report every Tuesday on IE Sports Radio, the direct feed for all that is sports, and I will update you on all that's black and gold. Have you telling your Pittsburgh fans and friends what's up with Pittsburgh sports. Tune in Tuesday with me, Ralph Calise, the Injury Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Let's go!
Yo, what's good, y'all? We are back live here on the IE Wrestling Show. You just heard from the two awesome shows here on the IE Sports Radio platform, Set Point, which is hosted by Taryn Rodriguez, and, of course, the Injury Report, hosted by my boy, Ralph Calise. Please check out those shows, guys. You will not be disappointed. Now let's get into last night was the big premiere. We talked about it last week. It was the big premiere on the new network, guys. WWE was gone from network television for what, maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3, whenever they left Fox for the USA Network with SmackDown. But they're back once again on regular network television on the CW with NXT. And I think they had a pretty solid first episode, man. What did you think about it, T5?
Man, it was pretty solid, man. Production-wise, I don't know if it was the lighting or whatever. It seemed like almost like TNA-ish. But other than that, like the matches, the match quality, show quality, everything else was straight, man. It was good.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, I would agree. For the most part, yeah, I agree almost pretty much with all that. Julia and Roxanne was a fantastic technical match. I mean, those girls, I don't know how they managed to get themselves into so many different submission holds. That was actually blowing my mind watching that. That was so, like, it was so smooth, man. Like those girls are just, you can tell that Julia is a star. I mean, she doesn't need to be in NXT for very long because she's been doing her due diligence in Japan and elsewhere. You know what I mean? This girl has got the talent, and she showcased that in this match with Roxanne. And Roxanne showed that she can hold her own against Julia. And just to give our listeners, you know, a bit of backstory, I'll just say this, not to get cocky, but I called the finish. Didn't I call that finish, T5? I called that finish. Didn't it? I said that if Julia wasn't going to win this title, that there was going to be some shenanigans. You even said so yourself, that there was going to be some sort of there had to be some sort of shenanigans. And I said I wouldn't be surprised if Cora Jade returned because she's been on the injured list and helped Roxanne retain the title, since there was they used to be tag team champions, and then they broke up, and then they feuded, and then, you know, whatever. But, and there, lo and behold, here comes a hooded figure, takes out Julia with a badass looking double arm DDT on the outside, throws Julia back to the Wolves, or to Roxanne, and Roxanne hits her pop rocks, pins Julia 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring, retains the championship, and gets a new brand, which we forgot to mention, you know, whenever we started this, brand new men's world and women's world championships presented by Triple H and Shawn Michaels at the very top of the show. New logo. No more tie-dye logo, no more white and gold, no more black and gold. We are now, I guess we're in the Raiders era of the NXT, silver and black now. So
they're on their platinum stuff. They're on their platinum.
Platinum, I guess. I mean, I will say that I do like the new belts. The new belts kind of remind me of the way that they're designed. They almost look like the UFC championships in a way, like that same shape almost, which is very cool. Same color scheme as well. And, but yeah, so, and that whenever that hooded figure took off the hood and unzipped the jacket, it was the beautiful but very malicious Cora Jade, costing Julia the opportunity to become the NXT Women's Champion in the opening contest of the NXT era of the CW era of NXT. So, which is cool, which was awesome. What a great honor it was for Roxanne and Julia to say that, yeah, we were the first match on a new network. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the match was cracking for a while. This match definitely showed where Roxanne got the name The Prodigy, because she was in there cooking. And for a while, you know, we all know NXT, you know, is developmental. So a lot of those girls are like brand spanking new, not Roxanne. She's been cooking for a while. And a lot of times she has to slow down for her opponents because they're still, you know, getting new to the game. Yeah. Not with Julia. Julia, she was in there on par with Julia. She finally had somebody who she can get in there and cook with. And she was in there, what. And that's what made the match so fire, especially like you were saying with the submissions and the counters, because she was on somebody who she was on par with.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with that. I agree with that assessment. I got no argument with that. That's a fair assessment of that. It was a great match. I enjoyed it very much. I want to see more, which that's what we're going to get. I feel like, you know, Julia and Cora can now feud for a little while. It gets Cora back in the mix. It keeps Julia away from the title for the time being, and then it presents the opportunity for Stephanie Vakir to come in, and maybe challenge Roxanne, because she already said that whoever wins, she was coming after them. So maybe we'll get to see Stephanie on the next episode or here in the next couple weeks. And then we got like a very eerie little vignette before the main event of the show, where we saw this another woman looking like she was walking down a deserted highway, kind of very Mad Max-ish in a way, the way that it was presented. And she had this really definitively bright red hair. And I'm pretty sure, without saying her name, because I didn't even have a name or even show her face, that was another new signing of NXT, which I've talked about here on the show already, Delta. So big things in the women's division. I may be stretching it right now. You may not agree with me. I know some of our listeners may not agree with me, but I think it's safe to say that NXT's women's roster is officially the most stacked women's roster in wrestling at this moment right now.
Ooh, hot take. She was on way to hell. I was like, time out. Who's that? Hey, I missed that. Run it back. They wouldn't let me rewind. And I was like, what that was? Ooh. And everybody was saying like, hey, man, it might be Stephanie. Like, nah, it can't be Stephanie. She showed up last week.
Yeah, that wouldn't have been Stephanie.
That's gotta be Delta. I was like, okay, all right, yeah, I'm here for it. Delta. I was like, yeah, I'm here for that. Like, so man, we about to NXT's women's division is cooking. I don't know about the best, but they are cooking. Cause like a lot of those girls, man, they grew on me. They started. You saw when they first started, and you were like, oh, they need some work. But they slowly been putting in the work, and they've been getting there, man. They're getting there. They're fine tuning. They're doing exactly what developmental is supposed to do: develop, and they're getting there. By the time they are ready, they'll be ready for the main roster. But for right now, they're good at NXT. They are cooking. They're fleshing their characters out. They're fine-tuning their timing and everything. They're getting there. So and then the addition of Delta, Stephanie, and Julia is definitely going to help them speed up the process, because that's going to put more competition in there. Because hey, if you seen Stardom, don't let the smooth taste fool you. Those little Japanese ladies lay their stuff in.
Yeah, for sure.
They be they stiff as a board. Light as a feather, stiff as a board. Light as a feather, stiff as a board. They get their stuff in. So I think it's gonna do nothing but propel those young girls in NXT, because they're good. They're good for a reason.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with that. Next match on the card, I would have to say, for me, was my match of the night. It was the match I most enjoyed. The street fight between TNA's Zachary Wentz and NXT's Wes Lee. I thought they had a fantastic match. I thought a lot of the violent spots that they did made a lot of sense. It wasn't just violence for violence. It was very, you don't really see too many street fights with two high flyers. It's usually like two wrestlers. I mean, it's always usually two wrestlers of a similar kind,
Yeah.
Or it's like the odd one out is facing the one that this is his expertise. Like, just to pick a match off the top of my head, like Triple H and Cactus Jack at the Royal Rumble 2000. Like, that was Cactus Jack's, that was his his apparatus, that was his thing, that was his thing that he was known for. And Triple H was never known for being that kind of guy. He was never a hardcore guy, and they put on a hell of a match. And then you have street fights where the two guys are very similar. in styles, and this is definitely one of those type of matches. But you never really see two high flying guys doing a street fight like this. You know what I mean? Like, and high flying spots were involved, but they weren't necessarily like, they weren't like
they're using like a ladder match or something.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, you usually save that stuff for ladder matches, but these guys put on a hell of a match, man, and it was so personal between the two of them. They're real. They are real friends in real life. I know this is just storyline, so sorry to break kayfabe for anyone out there, but these two guys put on a hell of a match that was believable. Those chair shots and cane shots were vicious, man, and that spot where Zachary Wentz splashed Wes when he was inside the trash can, that was really cool. And then that table spot, man, where the table didn't break, and I felt bad for Zach, man, because I knew that he's probably gonna have a huge bruise on his back today. He's got it, because man, like, he bounced off that shit. It didn't even budge. It didn't even move, and that was from the outside of the ring, from the ring to the outside. I'm surprised the table didn't break. Maybe they were just too, they weren't, I hate to say it, maybe they're just too not heavy enough to break it. Well, what'd you think of the street fight, man?
Man, I kind of figured they might steal the show, because those two are so familiar with each other, from tagging with each other, from going up and down the road back when it was the Rascals on TNA, and even before that in the Indies. So, man, I kind of figured they would be like, okay, we're going to save some of our stuff for the street fight. And I didn't know what to expect, because I was like, dude, y'all just had a fire match just now. So, I mean, what else y'all going to do? Steal the whole damn show? And I was like, okay, you got me. Okay, carry on as you were. And then that's exactly what they did, man. I think that was my match of the night too, man.
I mean, it didn't, and they were in front of a hot Chicago crowd, which helped, as well. It just brought brought more energy to the match itself. They were feeding off that crowd and their reactions to everything. So, I mean, crowd reaction plays a lot, especially for professional wrestlers. I mean, there's some guys that they go about it where, like, they talk about it from step by step by step. This is what we're doing from beginning to end. Everything in the middle, that's what we're doing. And yeah, that's it. That's what we're doing from beginning to end. We're not changing a thing. And then there's other guys that can feed off the crowd's reaction, and we're just going to call it in the ring. You know what I mean?
We'll call it in the ring, brother.
I can't say that's what Wes and Zach did. Maybe, maybe not. I mean, who knows? But for guys who've known each other as long as they have, and who've run up and down the roads, like you said, everything that all the accomplishments that they've accumulated with, together or by themselves, you would think that these guys have a level of comfortability with each other that they could do something like that, where they can just be like, all right, who's going over? Okay. What's the finish? Okay. We got it. We're going to call it in the ring. You know what I mean? We're going to just work off.
Just go in there and cook. Yeah.
Yeah. We're just going to,
you know what your friend can do. You know what he's capable of. Okay, we're going to do. All right. I got it. Hey, let's go from the top. All right. Okay, I'm gonna springboard you off the rope, and you dive through the table outside. All right.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Like, so, that match was great. It was definitely a highlight. Definitely, probably one of the best NXT matches this year. I enjoyed it. Yeah,
you definitely go out of your way to go peep that one out if you wasn't able to watch the show last night. That's definitely one you want to go out of your way to watch.
Yeah, if you don't have CW for some reason, like me, I don't have any sort of cable whatsoever. I cut the cord many years ago. I'm strictly streaming. So for me, I had to watch it this morning when I woke up. The CW app is free. You don't have to pay to use it, and it's according to everything that I guess that premieres on CW, it's always available the very next day. So and it was there. So I searched NXT, and boom, it was right there on the homepage, and I got to watch it immediately when I woke up. So I watched the entire show prior to our podcast. Yeah, so it was great.
That's cool.
Yeah. So yeah, CW app. It's in the Android store, and I'm sure it's in the Apple's, the App Store as well. So check it out, guys. Yeah. If you don't have television, like some of us don't, and just just get the free app and watch it that way. I think NWA is still on there, if I'm not mistaken, too. So it's
wow.
not just
y'all still watching NWA.
Yeah, I know, right? And then we had the segment. I thought this was kind of funny that they put this little backstage segment in there. I guess some people considered it a shot at Tony Khan and AEW, but I don't know. I think people are just looking for reasons to complain or say something about WWE on a night that they were having such a great time. But they had a little backstage segment between CM Punk and Lexus King, a.k.a. Brian Pillman Jr. from his time in AEW, and it was a young talent approaching CM Punk for advice. Like, specifically, he said those words, like, hey, man, I just need some advice, which is what CM Punk is one of his biggest criticisms of his time in AEW, was saying that you would try to give advice to these young people and they didn't want to listen to it. You know what I mean? Like, so I thought that was kind of funny that they booked a segment like that on NXT.
Yeah, it was specifically Hangman.
AEW talent.
Yeah. Most of the talent, the young talent click-clacked with Punk. He didn't have no problem with most of the young talent. It was specifically Hangman who made a comment during the interview that he wouldn't ask veterans, wherever for any advice or whatever, and he had to later clarify what he meant. But Punk then had a response to that, like, you got to be a real, dummy if you're not gonna go and pick the brain of a veteran, and not specifically me, but some of the older guys and stuff like that, like Dean Malenko, Billy Gunn. Wrong. Exactly. So that's why Hangman had to come back. Hangman had to come back a little bit later and clarify what he meant, but for the most part, everybody was like, "Yeah, dude, like if you got veterans in the back, go ahead." And so that's why a lot of people might have took that as,
I mean, can you imagine somebody being so like the Undertaker's trying to give you some advice? I got this, bro. Thanks, old timer. Thanks, boomer. Like, no.
And the thing about it was, in Ring of Honor, Hangman was in a group called what was it? It was originally in the Kingdom. No, he wasn't in Kingdom. He was with Jimmy Jacobs, and I'm trying to remember who else. They were in a group that was specifically because he was the young boy. He was the young boy in the group. Hey, if you're in the comment section, you remember Ring of Honor.
I know what you're talking about, yeah.
Please let us know because I'm drawing a blank. Where he was the young boy, and the group was a bunch of veterans, Jimmy Jacobs and somebody else, I forgot. And they were specifically.
Wasn't Kevin Steen in the group?
No, he wasn't. He had. I think he had left already.
He had already left. Okay.
I think he had already left, but it was around that time though. It might have been because he might have been. I don't know. He might have been feuding with Generico at the time.
Yeah.
He might have been. He might have still been there. But that group was specifically about the veterans teaching the youngsters.
Yeah.
And he at the time, because he was still before he was Hangman. He was still just Adam Page with the little trucker hat.
Mm-hmm.
That he was the young boy, and they used to push him around and give him advice and have them carry his bags and all that stuff. So that's kind of odd that he would make a statement like that after being in the group. That's why I think he had to clarify what he meant by that, because a lot of people took that the wrong way because he didn't word it the right way.
Yeah,
that's what happens a lot. That's what happens a lot of times. People take stuff out of context, or people don't word stuff the right way, and people are like, "Well, that guy's a dummy," or "That guy's a jerk." He's like, "Oh, whoa, I didn't mean it like that. This is what I meant." And then they're like, "Oh, we should have said that the first time."
Right. All right. Well, then we went on to the Miz TV segment, which was fun. It's an interview segment. You can't really get too much, enjoyment in terms of wrestling out of it. Obafemi, I like his entrance music. I like how he struts to it. He was on his Thanos. He was on his Thanos ish last night. He dropped that "I am inevitable" line from Endgame, you know, and from Infinity War. So that was kind of cool. I like the chant, you know, the "Roo, Roo" kind of reminds me of M'Baku from Black Panther. You know what I mean? And the Jabari, you know, like I get that vibe, especially with the crowd chanting it along with him. You know what I mean? So. Tony D'Angelo with the family coming out, and Rizzo, is that the girl?
Yeah,
she got to get a better name, but she.
The thing about it, they changed the name. They kind of changed it because they was called something else at first, and it's weird because I was back and forth in and out of NXT at the time, and I heard about it. So she had a different. She had like a better name at first, and then they kind of sort of changed it when they finally decided to like full on put her with it.
Better. It doesn't sound any better, but yeah. But I mean, it was a cool little segment. It definitely got me like interested in their match for next week. So that's cool. Then we had like another little like backstage, not really backstage, but like a filmed vignette between Fraxium playing WWE 2K24 against their opponents for the tag team titles next week. A-Town Downtown, or Down Under, sorry. A-Town Down Under, Grayson Waller and Austin Theory going to be taking on Fraxium for the NXT tag team titles, which I'm calling it right now, T5. If they are in fact signed, the Motor City Machine Guns are going to show up next week after that tag title match.
Oh, they got to, because I was expecting them to come. I was expecting them to come through this week. A lot of people were expecting them to come through this week because it was the.
I was almost thinking the same thing, but you know they didn't show up.
Since you're putting the tag title match on a different show, that's where I could see them making their appearance at.
Right. Mm-hmm. What do you think about the segment between Oba and D'Angelo?
I liked it, man. Like the stuff they're doing with Tony D has been different because he needs a little freshen up, a little something different, and I like that. Oba Femi, the dude's over, and I kind of like to see him take the next step up. Like nobody wants to see him lose. But that's the thing about it. You can't win all the time.
Yeah, so, but I feel like he's sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but I agree with you on that. Like I don't want to see him lose either, but I feel like he's on a Gunther like run where like one loss isn't gonna kill him, you know what I mean? Because Gunther is a total of 4 times in 8 years or something like that. Like
there's ways to go about it to where a dude doesn't look weak, or to where you build a dude up. To where like you can build Tony D up and have him win and not have Oba Femi look weak at the same time. And then Oba Femi can do like Gunther and go up a rank. He can go up to the next level.
Right. Because I definitely think Oba, his time in the mid card needs to end, and he needs to go for the actual top prize in NXT. Like,
right. That could be his whole thing. He could be like, Tony D'Angelo, you were a very worthy game opponent. I doubted you. But now I have my sights on bigger game. Mr. Williams. Oh, boy.
Yeah, bro. Oh, boy. Yeah, he can just reuse that same line, you know, Trick, I am inevitable. You know, like you have your time in the sun, but you know damn well it's time to step up to Oba. You know what I mean? Like, and when you do,
snap his fingers and the lights go out.
Oh, you know he's gonna show him like he's shown everybody else that stepped to him. Everybody falls at the hands of Oba Femi, and I like Trick, but I mean, do you see Trick going over Oba? I personally don't.
I know that one match would cook.
It will. It's gonna be a great match. Don't get me wrong. But Maybe those
that sounds like a stand and deliver match to me.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me. I don't give it to us right away. I say let it build. You know what I mean?
Let the beat build, baby. Let the beat build. Let those charcoals get hot.
Mm-hmm. We had another little fun tag team match with the women. We had Jada Parker and Lola Vice, two beautiful, two talented young women still coming into their own, against JC Jane and Fallon Henley, another couple set of beautiful women trying to get into their own. They're getting a lot better, these girls. This new little group they created, Fatal Influence, is what they're called, right? Fatal Influence? I was about to say Fatal Attraction.
I'm about to call Fatal Attraction too.
Yeah, with Jasmine Nix, right? That's her name, Jasmine Nix. It's almost like it's a rebrand of Toxic Attraction in a way, almost.
I know, man.
But and then we had the women's North American champion at ringside with Booker and Vic doing commentary, Kalani Jordan, which was cool to hear her on. I don't know when did Booker become the heel commentator? It's so weird to hear Booker talking shit.
Booker sounds like a heel commentator for like forever. So I guess they might as well just like me. You might as well just go ahead on and do it, bro. Because
to me, it's still so funny, like that Booker's the one doing that. But I don't know. It just seems so funny, like Booker's the heel commentator on NXT. But whatever. I mean, it's cool. I mean, the match was fun. There's still this division between Lola and Jada. I don't know what's going on between them, why they can't get along. It's probably going to end up leading to a one-on-one match between the two of them. It led to the victory for Fatal Influence, but then they set their sights on the women's North American champion, Kalani, who did not, cower away from her oppressors. She stepped up to them, and she said that she had a plan B, and she certainly did. When the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions showed up, Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill showed up in Chicago, decimated Fatal Influence along with Kalani and Standing Tall, which set up another match for next week's episode of NXT. 6-woman tag team match, Kalani and the NXT and the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Belair and Cargill, against Fatal Influence.
Yeah, man. When I heard, I was like, I wonder who they're gonna get to come out for. It was like, a storm is coming. I was like, oh, I know you lying. I said, right. I know y'all lying. And then Bianca and Jade came out. I was like, oh, but makes sense.
So that was really cool to see that. To see them. This is going to be Jade's second appearance in NXT or something like that. She hasn't really wrestled in NXT. She made a couple of appearances whenever she was.
Yeah, she was there. You won't count it. She was there.
But she wasn't. She didn't do anything in ring. So this will technically be her actual in ring NXT debut next week. So that's cool, and it's going to be in St. Louis. St. Louis is actually going to be where Raw is going to be emanating from next week as well. Big matches already set for Raw next week too. Just to throw another little tidbit in there for you guys listening. Sami Zayn will challenge Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship next week on Raw, which I literally thought they would save that for Crown Jewel, unless there's some shenanigans and we don't actually get the match, and it does end up getting pushed to Crown Jewel. But we will see. Because Crown Jewel actually comes before Survivor Series. So I think it's like the first Saturday of November. And then Survivor Series is like the last Saturday of November, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, speaking of St. Louis and NXT in St. Ais, we had a nice little vignette hyping up the match between Randy Orton, St. Louis's own, against one of the NXT's hot up-and-coming talents, Javon Evans. The young OG. I'm a big fan of him. I think he's very talented. I think he has a ton of potential. He's definitely over with the crowd, and I think him and Randy are going to have a great match. Definitely a conflict in styles, but that doesn't stop the Viper from having a great match with anyone, because the Viper is probably one of the most technically sound athletes inside that squared circle. He can't literally have a bad match with anyone. And I definitely can see him and Javon creating some magic. And there's going to be some crazy version of the RKO that's going to come out of this match. Even Randy's
100%.
Randy's already like speaking that into the universe during that vignette. So I don't know what you think. Are you excited to see Randy and Javon throw down next week?
Yeah, man, because I remember when Randy first started, man, and everybody says the same thing about him. If you were putting together the perfect wrestler from the ground up, it would be Randy Orton.
Yep.
It would start off as Randy Orton, and to see that he's like, man, he's the veteran now. He's the OG, and he's going against the young OG, who's up and coming out here in NXT. And like you said, he's very over with the crowd. My only gripe is I don't like that boy Bouncy. You need to get a better tagline, brother. You need to go back to the lab with that one. Don't put that on a t-shirt. You need to work on that one. That boy Bouncy sounds kind of weird. Yeah, you need to work on that one. Hey, better yet, holler at me. I'll work on it for you. I'll hook you up with something better. That boy Bouncy, yeah, you need to go kick whoever came up with that one. Kick rocks on that one, man. But other than that, yeah, I'm here for the match. I'm definitely up here for it.
And then we had the main event of NXT for the very first episode on the CW with special guest referee in the city of Chicago, his hometown, of course, the man who will be in the main event this coming weekend at Bad Blood. More on that in a moment. CM Punk refereeing the match between Ethan Page, the NXT champion, and the challenger, Trick Williams. I like this match. It was a fun match. That was a cool little spot at ringside whenever Ego hit the Ego's edge onto the announce table on Trick. The crowd was hot. I mean, how could they not, especially with CM Punk as the special guest referee during the course of the match. Ethan and Punk were coming at odds many times during the match, and when Ethan was obviously trying to cheat and Punk was not letting it happen. He was going to call it right down the middle. There had to be a winner. And then it led to Trick becoming a two-time NXT champion. So congratulations to Trick Williams, man. Trick Williams back on top of NXT on the premiere episode on a new network, rounding out the night. Big celebration, pyro, confetti, all the good stuff, holding up the brand new men's NXT championship. That's awesome for Trick. I'm so happy to see him moving up back on top of the NXT men's roster as the NXT champion. But where does this lead for Ego? What does all Ego Ethan Page do after this? Does he try to get another shot at the title against Trick? Does he try to head to the main roster and possibly feud with Punk? Does he move on to someone else on the NXT roster? Like how long do you think Ethan Page is going to stay on the NXT roster before he eventually moves up to the main roster?
Oh, I don't know, man, because they still need, that main event scene is kind of thin. Even the mid-card scene is kind of thin. So I think he needs to hang around a little bit longer to help them out till they get some more, till they build that men's side back up. I could see him coming out and, I want a rematch. I don't trust that Punk. And then somebody.
Yeah. Nope. T5, you still there, brother?
Yeah, I
lost you there for a second.
Yeah. I was just saying that somebody else come out and say, hey, like you always say, you got to go to the back, brother. And he'll be like, next thing you know, you got your next feud for number one contender. So as far as who steps up to Trick, I don't know, man. I guess we got to hang around and find out.
That's true. But very solid debut. I'd give it a solid A. I give it a solid A for the first episode on a new network. They showed out. They definitely made their mark. And next week's show is looking promising. Like I said, 6-woman tag match already lined up We got a tag team title match on the card. We got a main roster legend taking on an up-and-comer on the NXT roster. And then we have the mid-card men's championship on the line between Oba and D'Angelo. It's looking like a pretty solid second week on the CW network for NXT. So congrats to all the guys and gals on NXT. Congrats to Shawn Michaels, the man who's steering the ship for NXT. I think it was a very solid first night out on CW. With that said, I say we get into Bad Blood predictions, man. That's right. For if y'all don't know, Bad Blood is coming to you live this coming Saturday, October 5th from the State Farm Arena in Atlanta, Georgia. This is going to be the 27th year anniversary of the very first event, the very first Bad Blood ever, which was in 1997. And it was the very first Hell in the Cell match. It featured the very first one between Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker. And it's going to be hosted by the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. They are serving as the hosts for the event, which is, I guess it's cool. Gives them something to do, gets them on the screen, gets them, there. Bad Blood is actually going to be, this will be the first time that a WWE event takes place on the same night as a UFC pay-per-view since the two companies merged to form the TKO group in September of 2023. As a result, Bad Blood will actually have a start time of 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to avoid counter-programming against UFC 307. So I didn't even know that. So Bad Blood's actually starting an hour earlier than usual. And these are the matches that have been announced. It's a 5-card show, just like a lot of the premium live events this year have been that haven't been the main 4, events, which are Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and Survivor Series. So these are the main matches announced for this event. Nia Jax defends her WWE Women's Championship against Bayley. Who do you got?
I got Nia returning. Keep a lookout for Tiffany, though, because that segment last week, man, I got some feelings about that one, man. Woo, man, Nia been on a roll. Oh, girl, put her hands on Tiffany. I was like, that meme, old boy from I forgot what show it is. He's like, ooh, clutching his pearls. He's like, oh my. That was me. I was like, oh my.
Yeah. Tiffany's
kind of rough with her.
Tiffany's been suffering some abuse at the hands of her supposed best friend, the woman who she has a contract that she could cash in on whenever. Nia thinks she's playing it smart by trying to keep Tiffany close so that doesn't happen. But it's going to happen at some point because that contract's only good for a year, and we're closing in on the end of this one, and she has to cash in before the next Money in the Bank event. So, she's
like, hey, if something happened to me, it's going to be bad for you. And I was like, oh, wow.
I don't, not necessarily, because if something happens to you, Nia, that just leaves it open for Tiffany to come on in and win that title. So who knows?
If she try her, it's gonna be bad for her.
Oh, I know that. Yes.
So she tried to put that fear. She tried to put that fear in her, and she put them hands on Tiffany too. So I'm like, oh boy, when she cashed in on her, that crowd gonna go nuts.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I agree, though. I think Nia's gonna walk out still the champion. Next match on the card, Damian Priest finally gets his hands on Finn Balor one-on-one. Finn Balor was the man that cost Damian Priest the World Heavyweight title against Gunther at SummerSlam, kicking him out of the Judgment Day, letting him know that he was the one behind Dom siding with Liv over Rhea. This whole breakdown of the Judgment Day into what it is now. Who you got?
I could kind of see maybe Priest going over because like a lot of this Judgment Day stuff is kind of run its course. And I feel like Priest should get his comeuppance and then move on. Maybe try to get back his world title.
Possibly, yeah. I would like to see Priest get his win, to try and get his revenge. But if knowing Triple H, like I think I know how he thinks in terms of booking, I think Finn's gonna be the one going over on Bad Blood, because I don't see them being one and done. I don't see that happening. I think they're gonna try and get at least one or two more matches out of these guys. So
squeeze the juice out this one.
I think so. I think they're gonna wring that shirt dry. So it's not dry yet. You know what I mean? So I think Finn's gonna walk out with a victory, and then we're gonna see another match between these guys at some point. Next match on the card, Dirty Dominic Mysterio will be suspended above the ring in a shark cage for this match. It is a singles match for the Women's World Championship. Liv Morgan of the Judgment Day defends the Women's World title against Rhea Ripley. You think they're going to finally put the belt back on Rhea, or you think Liv's going to get one more over Rhea and walk out with the title still?
Man, I don't know. I think Dominic probably will do something wild to get out of the shark cage and ends up helping Liv. It's kind of rough, man.
There's some stuff from FedEx that was outside.
That's kind of rough. I don't know. I think Liv might retain.
Yeah, I feel like they want to save Rhea having a big win at like a bigger event. I always keep saying that, like, save it for a bigger event. Like, I'm not saying necessarily like WrestleMania, because that's a long way.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's always Survivor Series. That's the next big event. So, or maybe they save it, and because the women, all this talk about what we believe would be the men's War Games match, we haven't necessarily even thought about what the women's War Games match could possibly be. But I feel like Liv and Rhea will be involved somehow. So I feel like involved somehow.
Yeah, I think Liv might retain, and Rhea, the thing with her and Rhea will continue, and that'll kind of shatter off because they really haven't developed anybody else to be a number one contender for after this. So I could see this continuing. Like I said, Dom gets out the shark cage somehow, probably stripped down or something weird or something, and helps Liv retain. The feud continues, and that shatters off to the women's faction war they got going on.
Right.
The two faction wars they got going on. So I could see that. I could see that happening.
True. I probably have to. I against my better judgment, I'd probably have to go with Liv retaining as well. Next match on the card. It was funny. The little video I made to promote our episode today. I found a picture that was very reminiscent of Survivor Series 2011. 2012. Survivor Series 2012. Excuse me. Was it 2011? I think it was 2011. I'm sorry. Survivor Series 2011. At Madison Square Garden, where it was The Rock and John Cena, and it was a tag team match, of course, against the Awesome Truth, and it said never before, never again. And someone did the same thing for Bad Blood and had Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns on the poster, and it said never before, never again. So it's almost like history's repeating itself in a way. So tag team match announced for Bad Blood. The WWE Undisputed Champion, Cody Rhodes, teams with the OTC, Roman Reigns, to take on the Bloodline, Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa. I think the Bloodline is going to squeak out a victory somehow, but I think it's going to end up by disqualification, because they're not going to pin Cody or pin Roman. I think both of them are going to get set off at some point, and they're just going to go balls out and just start, not listening to the referee, or they're going to grab a chair or something. Something's going to happen because they're not going to give away a pinfall on Roman or Cody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's gonna be some frustration between the two, some friction between the two, but they're not gonna have one of them get pinned, especially Roman coming back after being gone for so long, after getting jumped by the bloodline, and of course Cody being the world champion.
Right. I don't know that's what I think is gonna happen. I think the bloodline wins by disqualification.
Yeah, I agree.
And the main event, man, this has to be the main event. I feel like unless they put the Roman and Cody match last, but I'd be shocked if they did, especially with all the hype surrounding this match, the long history already with this match, months and months and months and months of build for this event. CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, Hell in a Cell. It's the rubber match. They have one win against each other. Drew won at SummerSlam. Punk won at Bash in Berlin. Who do you got at Bad Blood?
Man, I want to say Punk goes over because he kind of teased going after Gunther. Rollins is gonna be dealing with
Bronson for a little while.
So they're gonna be gone for. They're gonna be off doing their own thing for a while. I can kind of see. Oh man, it's real tough, man. It depends on what your trajectory is and what you got planned for them afterwards. But I can kind of see Punk going over. Because you're obviously painting. Even though sometimes Drew can be right with what he's saying, he's obviously being painted as the heel. So I can kind of see Punk going over.
I do see Punk going over. Punk is my pick. I think Punk is gonna walk out with the victory. Man, but that's really tough because it could literally go either way. I think both guys deserve a big win. I don't think it would hurt. I don't think it would hurt Drew to lose. I don't think it would hurt Punk either. But I think Punk probably needs it more than Drew does.
Yeah, because he hasn't been in a heck of a lot of matches since he's come back.
Exactly. So my pick is I'm going with Punk. Punk's my pick for that. So you got Punk too, or what?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll be right. We're going to take another short little break, guys. We'll be right back. And when we come back, we're going to close out the show with T5 and myself's top 5 best Hell in a Cell matches of all time, guys. So stay tuned. We'll be right back in just a moment. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, yo, what's up? It's your man Bishop, the voice of This Is KC Sports, the show where we go over the Chiefs, the Royals, KC Current, Sporting KC, MU, and oh yeah, if we got time, we'll even throw in some of that KU stuff for my people on the 913 South. Come hang out with us every Sunday, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's good, everyone? It's Drewski, the host of Heart of Texas Sports on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. On this station, we cover everything in the Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas area. From where we cover the Dallas Cowboys, the Dallas Stars, Dallas Mavericks, Dallas Wings, Texas Rangers, TCU, SMU, we cover it all right here every Wednesdays from 9 to 10 p.m. Central Time. Make sure you stay live with me on the Heart of Texas Sports on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Welcome back, y'all, to the IE Wrestling Show. It's your boy, the SoCal Saint, and my good brother T5 on it. So we talked about a lot of wrestling stuff. We talked about a lot of wrestling news today. We talked about our first impressions of NXT on CW. We gave y'all our predictions for this upcoming premium live event, Bad Blood, this coming weekend, Saturday, October 5th. And with Bad Blood comes the anniversary of the very first ever Hell in the Cell match. And the Hell in the Cell structure is this enormous steel cage match that encases the entire ring, the ringside area, all that. And sometimes the wrestlers can compete in the match inside, completely inside, or sometimes it ends up outside. Sometimes it ends up on top. I mean, there's been so many Hell in a Cell matches over the years. It was a little difficult to narrow it down to 5 for myself. I don't know how hard it was for UT5, but speaking for myself, it was a little difficult to narrow it down to 5. But I think I got myself a pretty solid list. I don't know. Do you want to go first with your top
sure.
5?
Yeah, my top 3 were easy. Picking 4 and 5 was kind of hard, man.
Okay.
So my top 3 were easy though. We'll go from 5 to 1. Number 5, Taker versus Brock. No Mercy. 02.
Ooh, that was a good one. Okay.
Number 4, Taker versus Triple H. Mania 28.
Oh, okay.
That was like the end of the era right there.
Yeah. Shawn Michaels, special guest referee.
Right.
Yeah.
Number 3, Triple H versus Cactus Jack. No Way Out 2000.
Okay. Very nice.
All right. Number 2, the OG, Shawn Michaels versus Taker. Bad Blood 97. We mentioned that one
nice.
earlier.
The very first one.
Yeah, and my number 1, it's got to be a lot of people's number 1. Taker versus Mankind. King of the Ring 98, brother.
Oh, yep. King of the Ring versus Mankind, Taker. Damn, man. I gotta say, our top 2, I think, are the exact same. But I think our 3, 4, and 5 are slightly different. But damn, those are solid picks, man. I can't argue with any of those. Those are awesome picks, all of them. Taker's like in the majority of all of them. Like Taker's involved in pretty much all of them.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Damn. So I don't know. Let's see how you feel about my top 5 then. Coming in at number 5. This might have been a mess of a match at times, but for me, I thought it was definitely a highlight of the Attitude Era for what it was. Armageddon 2000, the 6-man Hell in the Cell match. Kurt Angle defends the WWE title against Triple H, Rikishi, The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and The Undertaker.
Ooh, that was a good one. I ain't think of that one.
Yeah, I put that one at number 5. My number 4 is going to be this one. I thought this was actually a really fun match. These guys, this one's really hard to narrow down just because these guys have had so many great matches against each other. But to put this one on there, I was like, I think it needs to be recognized, even though it did happen in that ugly red version of the cage. The Usos against the New Day, Hell in a Cell. I thought that was a really solid Hell in a Cell match with the Usos and the New Day. So I really enjoyed that one. I can't even remember what pay-per-view that was. Was it a No Mercy? Or was it Backlash? It might have been a No Mercy during the first brand split or whatever. Or the rebooted brand split, whatever. I really enjoyed that match. For me, number 3 would have to be Cody Rhodes versus Seth freaking Rollins. When Cody had that terrible
adversity.
Oh man, when he first, dude, the whole arena when he first took off his coat and you just see that massive bruise on his chest.
Everybody was like,
and it was just like it was literally thousands of people's buttholes just clenching all at once. Like they were just like, ooh, like damn. Like,
I can't see. What everybody looking at? What everybody holding on? I can't see, Bobby.
Yeah, like man, like it was so crazy how like the crowd reacted to that image of him, and then it was like every time Cody took a bump, it was like the entire crowd took it with him because it was just that extra emotion that it added to that match. Not only that, it was Cody's third main event match. It was Cody's third match, like pay-per-view wise, back with the company since his return from AEW from his, the Prodigal Son returns, run. And Cody had never had a main event match in his entire WWE run prior to leaving. And then when he returned, this was his very first time in the main event spot, closing out the show. And because of that, that was the main reason why he didn't want to like cancel the match. And against, everyone's orders, he asked, like, it can't get any worse, right? And like no, I'm like, all right. And so he went out there, he toughed it out, and he said, like, if you watch the Cody Rhodes documentary that's on Peacock, he admits on the documentary that like he lied about how painful it was because he said it was absolutely fucking awful. And he said like the very first bump he took, he thought he was gonna throw up. Like, and he's powered out. That match isn't short. That match is quite long. They go nearly 20 minutes. And it's intense the whole time. And it was one of those matches. It didn't need to get out of the ring. It didn't need to go anywhere but the ring. But these guys told a story that was so beautiful in that ring. Like, and Cody once again triumphant over Seth freaking Rollins, and Rollins adding insult to injury, coming out dressed like his dad, the late great American Dream Dusty Rhodes, with the polka dots to add insult to injury. Like, man, like those guys, they need to have another go at it against one another because, I mean, they were great together during WrestleMania season this year, but I would love to see them cook again against one another because that Hell in a Cell match was their last match against each other to date, and it was by far the best out of the three matches they had. And that's definitely my top three in terms of that's my number 3 spot for the Hell in a Cell matches. At number 2, I have to go with the very first one, just like you. I had to go with The Undertaker against Shawn Michaels, Bad Blood, 1997. And not only that, a lot of people forget, this is where the debut of Kane happened.
My God, it's Kane!
Yes, you had Vince McMahon, on commentary. One of the last times Vince would ever do commentary on a pay-per-view, on a WWE event during that time. And that's gotta be Kane! That's gotta be Kane, The Undertaker's brother, with Paul Bearer! That was the call. And then Kane ripping the door off the hinges, tombstoning the Undertaker in the middle of the ring, and Shawn Michaels crawling for the victory, getting the win. And yeah, that was an epic first time Hell in a Cell match. Definitely lived up to the hype.
100%.
And I have to agree, number 1, just because of the mystique of it. Like, it seems like every Hell in a Cell match has been living up to this match ever since then. This made Mick Foley an absolute hardcore legend. He's a Hall of Famer, and rightfully so, because he literally broke his body to entertain us, the wrestling fans. It has to be King of the Ring 1998, The Undertaker versus Mankind, Hell in a Cell. That has to be number 1. I mean, Mick Foley in that match, getting thrown off the top of the cage through the announce table, is one of the scariest.
One of the most classic bumps ever.
It is. I mean, it really is.
Flying from the top all the way through the table. I mean, through the announce table.
As a kid watching that, you're just like, oh my God. And then as an adult, I feel like a little kid again rewatching that match a lot of the times. And then I appreciate I love that bump because I mean that's the most famous bump of the match. But the wrestlers, if you ask a wrestler which bump they like or not like, but they appreciate more, they appreciate the bump that he took by mistake, which was
the cell. Through the top of the cell.
Yes, because he wasn't supposed to, the cage was not supposed to break. He was supposed to just choke slammed onto the cage, but the cage was giving, you could see it literally breaking under their feet when they're walking on top of it. And then Mick goes right through it, and a chair follows him. He hits the fucking ring. Apparently he got knocked out on impact, and the chair hit him in the mouth, knocking a tooth through his mouth, through his nose.
Bro, I don't know how many times I've heard Taker. I remember watching them they watched it together on Peacock. Yeah, they watched it together, and they talked about the match. And they were talking about how you could see how gingerly Undertaker was walking on top of that cell because it felt like it was going to give. Mm-hmm. And then when they did the spot, whoosh.
It was, that was the most gnarly probably spot in that match. Almost, I mean, I know fans always talk about the table spot, but in wrestling terms, that was the more gnarly spot because the ring, I don't think anybody thought the ring had that much give. I think it was because of that match they changed the ring, like, so to speak. Like, they changed the way the ring was made and made it slightly bouncier in a way. You know what I mean? Like, because WWE apparently had a very tough ring, a very hard ring. They've always been known to have, like, I mean, if you can believe anything, some of the old timers used to say, they'll say that the rings in the 80s and the early 90s were like, it was like wrestling on concrete, is what I've heard some of the old school guys say. And they were still using that ring in the mid late 90s. So it was after the Hell in the Cell match, I think they changed the way that the ring was made because of that spot that Mick took from the top of the cage into the ring. And then Mick somehow on fumes and adrenaline came to against anyone's better judgment, got back in the ring with Taker and took more abuse, getting choke slammed on thumbtacks and tombstoned, and the match was over. And that wasn't even the main event. That was not even the main event.
I wouldn't want to follow that.
And somehow Stone Cold Steve Austin had to follow that in a first blood match against Kane. So
yeah, good luck with that, brother.
Yeah, so man, with that said, I mean, will CM Punk and Drew McIntyre become one of the all-time great Hell in a Cell matches, or will it fall into the dud pile? I think the former. I think it could potentially be one of the classic Hell in a Cell matches. I think these two guys are too talented to fail. I think they'll have a fucking awesome Hell in a Cell match, especially if Triple H gives them the creative freedom to do so this coming Saturday.
I think those two they have enough story beat, and they have enough, between the two of them, they can cook. So I think it could be. It could creep into there. It can creep into that top 5, top 10 area. It has the potential, the potential.
Yep, for sure. Well, damn, man, we definitely tracked a lot tonight, man. We put a lot out there for our wrestling fans. We talked about a lot today. And guys, I'm so glad that y'all tuned in, guys and gals tuning in for our show. Thank you so much, wrestling fans, for tuning in to another episode of the IE Wrestling Show. Please do yourself a favor and show some love to my boy T5, the host of the Crescent City Connection. Check out his official X handles at Crescent City_IE. That's the official page of his show, and his personal page at Who Is T Fizzle. Of course, his show is weekly, Saturday mornings at 12 noon Central Standard Time, just like our show is here on Wednesdays. We're literally on the same time schedule, just different days, guys. That's how I remember it. And so yeah, just check him out this coming Saturday at 12 noon. Correct?
Yes, sir.
That's right. And please, again, I know I begged earlier, but please do yourself a favor. Do me a favor. And go to faceofhorror.org/2024/Martin-Sandoval and give me a vote, please. Right now, they are 2 for 1. So if you click the free vote, that one vote actually counts as 2. So I would definitely appreciate it if you can do that for me today and keep me in the running, guys. I want to win this contest, man. I want to win it badly. Shout out to everyone.
I'm begging, baby. I'm begging, baby.
Oh, yeah, very much so. Please follow IE Sports Radio on all social media platforms, X, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. We're on all these awesome platforms for podcasts, Apple Podcast Speaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Deezer, Podcast Addict, Podchaser. Go to IESportsRadio.com. Go to the shop and order yourself an awesome T-shirt like this one I have right here off to the side. Boom. The official logo T-shirt, guys. You can get that right there. You can also get some awesome premium brisket beef jerky. There's a link to the website, Planet Jerky, planetjerky.net on our official website, as well as Seal the Deal wax seals. You can order that directly from the IE Sports Radio website. You're going to love it, guys. Please do not hesitate to check it out. And please do yourself a favor and follow me on X and on TikTok on my official page at IE Wrestling Show. Whew, that was a mouthful. All right. T5, thanks, man. Thank you again. Next week, guys, I'll be rolling solo dolo. T5 will be MIA just for next week. Hopefully, he'll be back with us on another future episode. Thank you, T5, for showing up again this week, man. It was fun.
All the time, man. All the time.
Hopefully we'll get to talk about some more upcoming events. I know Bound for Glory is coming up, so I would love to talk Bound for Glory with you. I know AEW's got another big show, Wrestle Dream, coming up as well, so we can talk about that together too. So hopefully I'll see you here in a couple weeks, man. But next week, the SoCal Saint will return. Same SoCal Saint time, same SoCal Saint channel, guys. So I'll see y'all next week. Thank y'all again, T5. Thank you, my brother. You got anything to say to everybody before we say adieu?
Hey, support the homie. Support the kids. Wrestling's for the kids. Hey, hey, it's what's up, man. Hey, we watching. Keep out. We're watching for the ops. Man, we see y'all in this. We see y'all in the comment section. Hit the like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. Share. Tell a friend about the show. Don't keep it to yourself. And doctors. Hey, especially SoCal doctors, come for me. We ain't scared of yous. We're not scared of yous over here. Right? We're not scared of yous. You out here diagnosing little kids the wrong ways? We're not scared of yous. We're calling you out.
I'll see y'all next week, guys. Take care. Peace.